every one of you for coming. Means a lot to us. As you all know, I'm Mike Meisler, my wife Joy up there. We only deal in gaited horses, but we do it a little bit different. One of the main things that I believe that's missing in the gaited horse world is horsemanship. I believe it's getting a horse soft, supple, and light and responsive, and no resistance, and getting a foundation on these gaited horses just like you would any other horse. I'm tired of everything being pigeonholed. If you ride a gaited horse, you got to have this bit. He's got to be shod this way. You got to get a hold. You got to drive him up in the bit. Blah, 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 blah. If you ride a quarter horse, you need to drop your reins. You need to get him soft, supple, and light. What we're lacking is horsemanship. It's a horse-human relationship. You're having a relationship with your horse no matter what you're doing. It's either a good one or a bad one. Anybody in here divorced? You was in a relationship and it was a bad one. And then you got one and it's a good one. Is it the horse's fault? Is it your fault? Whose fault is it? A lot of times when things don't go right in your relationship with your horse, the first thing you need to look at is sit down and look at yourself. You need to look at yourself. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing that he isn't getting it? Okay? The horse is not intentionally doing anything to screw you over. They're not cut that way. They're either doing it because you let them, you encourage it, or you're not a leader. Some people might think I'm hard on my horses. But if I had one of my horses here right now, he'd be standing right there and not moving. Because if he did, he would go to work. It's just that simple. If I led off with my horse, his ass wouldn't be up here in front of me. He'd be right back here. That's what makes the experience enjoyable. If I'm standing here, my horse ain't going to come up and get in my face. I get back and stand over here. Those are pushy horses. Why are they pushy? We're encouraging it. We're doing things to make them come up to us whenever they need to be standing right there and being still. You are the leader of the deal. It's got to be whatever you say goes. And you've got to train your horse accordingly. And the best way to do it is on the ground. Now, as you all know, we started a Patreon page, and we started filming that. I had a horse, Cheyenne knows him, Tom Frizella. Had a horse, him and Linda had a horse they wanted me to sell. Tom is what, 75, 80, little old short fella. They brought me this 4-year-old mare and wanted me to sell her. Well, I will. When I do, it's going to have my name written all over it. So I've got to ride it and get it into a Mike Meisler horse, because we stand by what we sell. I told Joy, I said, that frog mare is going to be a good one to film on the Patreon. So I went to get her out, and she said, you want me to film that? I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to do a little bit of groundwork here, and I'm going to get on and ride her, because Tom been riding her on the farm. Folks, we shot 13 videos for 13 days before I'd ever get on her. The mare was no more ready to get on. How he was getting away with it, I don't know. She was rude. She was pushy. She had no foundation on her whatsoever. We shot 12 to 13 videos before I got on her. Now, with that said, there's a bunch of horses out here that people are riding that they have no business on. They have no business on those horses. I'm not going to get on those horses, and I ride every day. The reason for it is because they don't have a foundation on it. And the main question is what is a foundation? A foundation is whenever you get all the stiffness, resistance, and the abrasiveness out of your horse before you get on him. Whatever this horse does wrong on the ground, whatever he does wrong on the ground, I promise you he's going to do it on his back. When you get up there, it's going to be the same deal. So why not stay safe and get this all taken care of now? Okay? So what we do is we've got our little foundation deal going on here. It makes your horses so much better. Later on, we're going to be getting on them and doing some more exercises, bending the body, bend, bend, bend. We ride our horses in a snaffle bit. We ride them on a loose rein. We can stop by merely shifting our weight back. We can stop by picking one rein straight up. We don't pull on our horses with both reins. When we back our horses, we pick our hands up and get them to roll over and back up. Why is that? Because we're getting the front end up. All the weight's on the front end of the horse anyway. So why am I going to get down here and put some more weight on it and get it to come back? Whereas you pick up and ask them to come back, they pick up their legs instead of that dragging crap. Get back. Those are just some of the things different that I do than everybody else. And I'm going to continue to do it because it's worked very well for us. One of the main things that we have, and I just rode a horse for a woman in St. Louis. She come down. Everything was great. The horse was broke when it come there. She got on it and rode it around our barn one trip, come around the second trip, said, I cannot believe how responsive this horse is. You barely touch it and it just moves. It's not supposed to be a fight to ride a horse around this arena. They're supposed to just go around the arena and stay between your hands and your legs. And those are a lot of the things that we're doing. I'm kind of telling you my little philosophy here on what I'm doing. Every single thing that you've ever learned about a gaited horse on what to do, I'm basically telling you to do the opposite. Whatever you've been taught, we do the opposite of what they tell you. And I'm going to give you one more example of why that is. You need to understand why that is. Years ago, if you wanted a trail horse that was gaited, where'd you go? You went to a gaited horse barn. Okay? What were those guys? They were show horse trainers. There was not people like me, Joy, and others that has grabbed a hold of this trail deal and just zeroed in on it. So everything those show horse people told you, they weren't lying. That's all they knew. A lot of those show horse trainers are still doing that crap today. They're still doing it today. I know because I've been in the barns and watched them do it. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? And these are winning people. They're winning. And I'm thinking, you're doing what you did in 1972. How far have we come? We've come this far because we wanted to. If you haven't, it means you don't want to. You want to keep doing what you're doing. All right? So what we have done is got our program down on what we want in our trail horses. And the number one thing you got to have on your horse, and everybody's worried to death about what's going to happen to their horse if something happens to them. The greatest gift you can give that horse is manners. Because if he's got manners and he's a productive citizen, he's always going to have a home. But if he's rude and belligerent, who wants him? Nobody wants him. Unless they want a project horse. And I've sold some project horses to some people before. And they knew a lot, about training horses. Next thing I knew, I got word a week later that horse had already been sold. It's different whenever you get a hold of one and start going to work. Number one thing you got to have is feel and timing. The only way you get feel and timing is through experience. That's how you get feel and timing, is through experience, by doing it. All right? Now,